The idea of retiring or retirement. These funds do not get into things that they think have no legs, no longevity, just won't be able to continue on. When you invest in something, if you've ever invested in any type of retirement fund, and if you look through the actual portfolio that they have, it's generally typically always very well established, been around for 150 years kinds of companies, the things that are just going to last for a very long time to ensure that when you retire, your money's been relatively stable, the prices have gone up, you've made some profit, what have you, and you have some good amount of money to be able to retire on. The weird thing is that a lot of these companies, these pension funds, these pension companies are now getting actively into Bitcoin, and they have been for a while. The significance is they've gone through the numbers. There are people who manage hundreds of billions of dollars for these funds, and they look for allocations into things that they know are going to last for a while, that will have continuous returns for their clients. So like I said, this news should be more popular, but I understand that a lot of people just don't want to retire. I don't know what's going on. In a new report, Fidelity has highlighted a growing amount of interest from pension funds in the cryptocurrency market. Someone named Manuel Nesta, vice president at Fidelity Digital Asset, shared insights during a London event, noting that pension plans are now discussing crypto investments. The move suggests a major shift as institutions, traditionally known for their conservative investment strategies, have begun to explore this new asset class. It is very difficult to ignore. Listen, at least not in my case. If someone's constantly screaming if all these rich people are hanging out together and you have a group of a whole bunch of them at all these events, this London event was not the only one. There's tons of rich people events all over the world all the time, and someone tells you I made 3,000% on my money because I invested in crypto. You keep hearing it over and over and over. You hear these people talking at events and all these other private conversations that they're having with their friends and family and all these other people. And someone says, based on current projections because of price past movements and current supply and demand levels, we're seeing a $100,000 Bitcoin by the year 2030. That's big money to be made. And a lot of the crypto price predictions that we get you can't really expand that far. I truly do understand a lot of the price predictions tend to taper off after the year 2030 because you can't really say in 2024 what you expect prices to be in by 2040. But if you've been listening to anything that Kathy Watt or other people has saying, they're expecting a $10 million+ Bitcoin at that point. It's not even a large amount of money for the customers of these funds, but it's also for the actual fund itself. If you get an allocation for your customers, you're also going to have an allocation for yourself. If people are talking about $500,000 in the next year or two for Bitcoin, this is a dramatic amount of money that's going to be flowing into the space. But once again, a lot of times news like this doesn't really capture the imagination of people because the core of it, a lot of people just really care about how much money they can make. But it's also, yes, cool, got it, investment. But the problem is that no or very few people are thinking about the long term. It's the same exact thing when it comes to buying property. You don't buy property, flip it, and go I made some monies. No, you hold on to it because have you seen property prices from the 1950s, 60s, and dare I even say from I was shocked from the 70s and 80s. I looked at property prices to now and I was like, what? That was almost 40 years and prices have completely lost their minds. You buy the property and hold it so that 30, 40 years down the line, cool. You made a little flip before when you made a good $152,000 from the flip you did. But if you had held on to that property over 40 years, you would have made a tremendous profit, especially if you had kept on buying other property, had kept on buying land, which is also constantly becoming more and more expensive. It's the same exact thing with Bitcoin. Why do you think all these people are talking about governments and nation states buying Bitcoin is not to hold it and, oh, maybe I'm going to trade it? No, because at some point Bitcoin, if the current trend continues, is going to be worth so much that countries can literally issue new currencies against the amount of Bitcoin that they have. It is literal digital gold. We're talking about a situation where we have a $10 million Bitcoin. The people who hold Bitcoin are wealthy to hear that. Countries are mining Bitcoin, are holding and hoarding Bitcoin is insane. We should literally, even before we had the ETFs, we should have been well over $100,000 per coin, well above it. The world has changed right before our eyes. Do you know these are normally private conversations that these people have amongst themselves? To even hear the news that Fidelity is there's probably a lot of people looking at the space right now who have pension funds, that solidifies Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space forever ever, right? That That means like we are constantly here in the year 2060. Bitcoin and crypto still exists. Anyway, I know I can get a bit intense sometimes, but it's like, come on, I keep asking over and over. I don't understand what it's going to take for people to really get it, to really understand. And it's terrible. People only can when the price spikes up. There was an article, I didn't bring it here cuz, it was just a normal article that was floating around, but we're talking about on Google Trends, the trends, and people searching the word Bitcoin, how it had differed from when we hit 74,000 to when we regained $65,000, and how it had, the term flatline is a bit intense, but it had nearly fallen completely back to the bottom because crypto has been creeping back up slowly and hasn't been jumping by 7, 8, 10% over the course of a day or 2 days. So these people literally stop caring about the market if it's not something hypey that they can throw their money into, but if it's slow and steady, does not even begin to describe this market because no other market is making 300% returns over the course of a 12-month period. But when crypto Bitcoin's price is going up by 0.0002000 per day, that's not hypey enough for a lot of people. If you hear that retirement plan stuff for old people are there. Getting into Bitcoin, have you ever watched videos where it's going to give you nightmares where it's truly concerning to see the lack of awareness and planning for retirement among many individuals, especially when faced with the stark reality that future generations may never retire due to financial instability. The mindset of living for the moment without considering the long-term consequences is unfortunately prevalent, as highlighted by your observations and experiences with people who prioritize immediate enjoyment over future security. It's a challenging paradigm to comprehend, especially when faced with the prospect of working well into old age just to make ends meet. Documentaries and stories depicting pensioners still working multiple jobs in their 70s and 80s serve as sobering reminders of the importance of financial preparedness for retirement. These narratives underscore the urgent need for increased financial education and awareness, particularly among younger generations, to encourage proactive planning and investment for a more secure future. Your insights shed light on a critical issue that warrants greater attention and action to ensure that individuals are equipped with the knowledge and resources to make informed financial decisions and secure a comfortable retirement. It's disheartening to hear about the lack of financial preparedness and foresight among many individuals, especially when it comes to planning for retirement. The attitude of prioritizing immediate gratification over long-term security is unfortunately prevalent in society, as evidenced by the responses you've encountered in your interviews. The notion of investing for the future seems daunting or irrelevant to some, particularly when they are young and focused on enjoying life in the present moment. However, as you rightly pointed out, the consequences of neglecting retirement planning can be significant, leading to financial insecurity in later years. The disconnect between the desire for immediate enjoyment and the necessity of long-term financial stability is a challenge that requires greater awareness and education. Encouraging conversations about the importance of saving, investing, and planning for retirement can help shift perspectives and empower individuals to take control of their financial futures. It's concerning to think about a future where retirement may not be attainable for many due to lack of financial preparation. By raising awareness and promoting financial literacy, we can work towards a society where everyone has the opportunity to retire comfortably and enjoy their later years with peace of mind.